Part 41. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 401. Chapter 401. Now the whole school knows about your scandal. Ziwa said it well before. Being good looking means you have capital. The second generation of rich people can fish for whatever they want. Oops, those of us who are not good looking enough can't afford to go to high school to catch the second generation of rich people. Yaway, do you think so? Yes, when we were in high school, we never thought about whether to catch the rich second generation or not. We spent all day doing nothing but reading, and we became nerds. It is true that the high school life is not as rich as some people's. Haha, even if you thought about catching a rich second generation, you can't catch anyone with such a good-looking face. People can kick out a rich second generation and immediately hook up with a richer one. Do you have such ability? Making a living on your face is not something you can do if you want to. People can still go to the hospital to have an abortion when they are underage. Do you dare? Zhang Yue looked horrified. Abortion in high school? Forget it, I don't dare. If I do such a thing, my parents will beat me to death. Yeah, I don't dare, and my parents will beat me to death. But, we don't dare. There are always people who dare. Maybe they have been taught like this since they were young, and they have long been weirded out by this kind of thing. Don't be surprised. Bai Xiao, Zhang Yue, your mother. Zhang Luli pointed at the two of them and wanted to go over and beat them. Lolo. Xiao Mian pulled her, with no unnecessary expression on her face. She looked at the two people standing in front of her with a faint look, and her voice was also faint. You know that you are not good looking enough, so you are quite self-aware. But since you are already so ugly, I advise you to be kind. Jealousy makes people ugly, and being a jealous woman will make her uglier and uglier. When the time comes, it will be so ugly that plastic surgery cannot save it, and that's the end of it. Xiao Mian, what did you say? No woman can tolerate others calling her ugly to her face. Xiao Mian's two words instantly ignited Bai Xiao's anger, and she looked like she was going to rush over and fight Xiao Mian. Zhang Luli immediately stopped Xiao Mian behind her, stood up, and said with a cold face, if you dare to touch Mian, try it. Even if I get a demerit from school, I will beat you to death. Zhang Luli is 1.7 meters tall and very strong. Bai Xiao will never be able to defeat her. Xiao Mian is also good at fighting, and few girls can beat her. Bai Xiao knew that he was no match for the two of them, so no matter how angry he was, he could only endure it. She glanced at Xiao Mian, who was being protected by Zhang Luli, sneered again and taunted her in a sinister way. Yes, we are not as good looking as you, Xiehua, but at least we know how to respect ourselves and love ourselves, and we will not do anything to make people laugh. Things. As for you saying that we are jealous of you. Haha, tell me, why are we jealous of you? Are we jealous that you are entangled with a lot of men at a young age because you are good looking, or are we jealous that you went to the hospital to have an abortion when you were underage? Why are you staring at us? These words are not what we said. Now the whole school knows your scandal. Why, you are allowed to do it, but we are not allowed to say it. If you don't want people to say that to you, don't do those embarrassing things. It's a matter of sight. Zhang Yue had some scruples in her heart. No matter how Xiao Mian was before, she now has a backer. I don't know who that man is, and he still keeps Shen Yuiyu and the others locked up in the bureau. It is said that the Shen family tried to find connections, but to no avail. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 402. Chapter 402, you just let them go? It's scary to think about it. In her heart, she still didn't really want to offend Xiao Mian. I don't dare to really offend anyone. Okay, Xiao, Class is about to start. Let's go quickly. Jiang Wei pulled Bai Xiao, fearing that she would really anger Chiao Mian, and neither of them would get anything good by then. Bai Xiao probably also thought about Shen Yui's matter, and immediately restrained himself a lot. She hummed softly, "Well, let's go." The two of them walked past Chiao Mian, arm in arm. Zhang Luli was extremely angry. "Baby, you just let them go like this." Chiao Mian sighed, "Otherwise, do we really want to fight with them? There are people coming and going here, and it won't be good for anyone if things get serious." But they were too disgusting just now. Zhang Luli clenched his fists, feeling angry. Are those human words? After all, we have been roommates for a few years, and they are just adding insult to injury. It's so disgusting. Compared with her, Chiao Mian, the person involved, seemed very calm, and his emotions seemed to have no fluctuations. They only said that after reading the post. In comparison, I still think the person who posted the post is more hateful. What she wants to do most right now is to find out the person who posted the post. However, now I can confirm that the post was indeed not sent by them. Zhang Luli was still angry. Even if they didn't send it, those words just now are too much. If there weren't so many people here, I really want to beat that girl Bai Xiao. Fortunately, I don't live with them now. Together, otherwise I would be very depressed if I didn't see you when I looked up every day. Chiao Mian nodded, "Yes, it's a good thing we don't live together." Asterisk. Before going to class, Chiao Mian sent the link to the post to Chiao Chen. There are not many classes in the morning. After 2 classes, there is basically nothing going on. By the time she walked out of the classroom, Chiao Chen had not replied to her yet. Chiao Chen is also in class at the moment. Moreover, high school courses are not as free as those at university. It is estimated that he is in school and does not have time to help her check the ID of the whistleblower. Chiao Mian is not in a hurry. This incident affected her mood, but it is not difficult to solve. As long as the whistleblower behind the scenes is found out, the rumors will naturally be clarified. It's just a matter of time. It doesn't matter if she waits any longer. On the contrary, Zhang Luli was more anxious than she was. After class, he asked her, "Did Chen Chen reply to you? Did he find the ID of the person who framed you? Do you know who it is?" Chiao Mian shook his head, "Not yet, he should still be in class. He won't have time to go out and check for me until noon at the earliest." "Don't worry, we can check it out tomorrow at the latest." Tomorrow, Zhang Luli frowned. There are more and more replies to that post, and now the whole school is probably aware of the rumors. If this matter becomes a big deal, it will have a great impact on you. You just succeeded in the audition, and you haven't officially signed the contract yet, right? What if it gets into trouble on Weibo? Luo, I've thought about all the things you're worried about. However, I can't rush it now. Besides, I'm just a newcomer with little fame. I'm not even on the 18th line. Even if I make a fuss on Weibo, yes, it won't be a big deal. Who would take advantage of a young newcomer? There's nothing exciting about it." Zhang Luli frowned, "I'm not worried about what netizens will do to you. I'm worried that such negative rumors will affect the crew's consideration of you." End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 403. Chapter 403. Do you have time now so we can meet? Probably not. Chiao Mian was silent for a moment, and a smile appeared on her lips. "I don't think I will be so unlucky. Didn't you say that my luck has started to improve since I met Mo Yesi? So I believe I won't be unlucky again." "Okay." Zhang Luli shrugged helplessly, "I hope so too. By the way, baby, the crew hasn't called you yet to tell you when to sign the contract. Although Bai Yushen named Xiao Mian to play the third female lead on the spot, there are basically no other variables in this matter. But before signing a contract, it is never 100% safe. Xiao Mian shook his head, not yet. Then just wait, I'll probably call you within today. Do you want me to ask brother Bai for you? No need, I'll just wait. As soon as Xiao Mian finished speaking, her cell phone rang. She took out her cell phone, thinking it was a call from the crew, and picked it up excitedly. After taking a deep breath, he kept calm and said, "Hello, I am Xiao Mian. Hello, Ms. Xiao, I am Xinggui's agent Linda. Do you have time now, can we meet?" Xiao Mian was stunned for a moment and asked in astonishment, "Are you Xia Linda?" Hearing this name, even Zhang Luli next to her showed a surprised expression on his face. "Yes, I have something to do with Miss Xiao. Can we meet to talk?" Xiao Mian frowned and remained silent. With deep doubts in her eyes, she turned her head and glanced at Zhang Luli. "Isn't Linda Xie Xiao Angzhen's agent? Why are you calling her?" Linda was silent for a while, and then said, "If it is inconvenient for Miss Xiao to leave the school, I can go over to find you. Just tell me when you are free." Xiao Mian. After a while, Xiao Mian hung up the phone. Zhang Luli immediately asked her, "Did Xiao Angzhen's agent call you?" Xiao Mian had a thoughtful expression on her face. She was thinking, what on earth is this Sherinda going to do? Why is she calling you? "I don't know," she said. "She wanted to meet me and talk to me about something." "Zhang Luli, what can she have to talk about with you? It's not like she doesn't know the relationship between you and Xiao Angzhen." "Yes, I'm curious too." Xiao Mian lowered her head and glanced at her phone, "so I agreed to her." "Have you agreed to meet her?" If I go, aren't you afraid that she and Xiao Angzhen will set some traps for you to jump?" Xiao Mian thought seriously for a moment, shook her head and said, "Probably not." Her tone was quite sincere, as if she really wanted to talk to me about something. "I told her to meet at a coffee shop outside the school, on our territory. She shouldn't dare to mess around." Zhang Luli was still worried, always feeling like there was some conspiracy. "Okay, why is Xiao Angzhen's agent calling her baby? It is definitely a weasel wishing the rooster a New Year greeting, and he has no good intentions." "Then I'll go with you." After thinking about it, Zhang Luli said, "I'm not worried about you being alone. Besides, I also really want to know what Xia Linda wants to see you for." Asterisk. Half an hour later. In a cafe outside Yunchinj Film Academy. After Xiao Mian and Zhang Luli walked into the coffee shop, they saw Linda already sitting in a relatively hidden position. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 404. Chapter 404. I will try my best to praise you. The two walked over. Linda raised her head while holding the coffee cup. Seeing Zhang Luli coming with her, she raised her eyebrows and said with a smile, "Miss Zhang and Miss Xiao have a really good relationship." "Of course." Zhang Luli was not polite at all. He walked over and sat down. He called the waiter and asked for a cup of coffee. She looked at Linda and said, "I don't want my baby to come here alone." Linda didn't mind what she said. She smiled and said, "Miss Zhang is right to worry. After all, our previous meetings were not very pleasant. However, Miss Zhang can rest assured that I will find Miss Xiao this time, just to talk about things, and for no other purpose." "Oh, really?" Zhang Luli looked at her with interest and said, "I wonder what Miss Xia wants to talk about when she comes to see our baby." Linda curled her lips and turned her gaze to Xiao Mian. After a moment of silence, she said, "Miss Xiao, as far as I know, you don't have an agent at the moment." Xiao Mian was stunned for a moment, then nodded, "Yes." She's not even an 18th tier actress, so where did she get an agent from? No company has signed a contract with a small role like her. Linda also nodded and said with a smile, Miss Jiao's appearance is very good. To be honest, I have coached so many artists, but none of them can compare to you. You were born to eat in the entertainment industry. If you didn't get better resources, you would have become popular. Chiao Mian was stunned for a moment, her brows furrowed slightly, and there was doubt in her eyes. Miss Ye, what exactly do you want to say? She doesn't like beating around the bush. Linda didn't want to continue beating around the bush, and after pondering for a few seconds, she looked at her and said directly, I have worked at Xinggui for 10 years, and I have become a gold medal agent from a newcomer who didn't understand anything at the beginning. In the past 10 years, I have made dozens of first-tier artists famous, but among the artists under me, the worst can even get into the third tier. I want to say, if Miss Jiao is willing to let me be your manager, within 2 years, I will definitely put you on the front line. Of course, with your capital, if you are lucky and get particularly good resources, you can become famous in half a year, let alone 2 years. As long as you are willing to sign to me, I will use my contacts to win for you. The best resource I could get. I will try my best to flatter you. After Linda said this, both Jiao Mian and Zhang Luli looked stunned. After being surprised for a while, Jiao Mian said in disbelief, you mean you want to be my agent? Yes. Jiao Mian. Did she hear it correctly? This yeah Linda, what exactly do you want to do? Yeah, I remember you are Jiao Angzhen's manager. Besides, after you take over her, you shouldn't be able to take over other artists at the same time, right? I have to say that Suzy really worked hard to make Jiao feel at ease. A top-notch agent like Linda is willing to leave it to Jiao Angzhen alone. Linda took a sip of coffee and said slowly, it was before, but it's not anymore. Jiao Mian was shocked again, especially surprised, are you not her agent anymore? Yes, Linda looked into her eyes and said calmly, something happened between me and her, so I have left Xinggui. I completed the resignation procedures yesterday. Miss Jiao, I am in Xinggui after 10 years, once you leave, you won't be able to go back. Thank you for accompanying you in romance for the rest of my life. 189.94, 188.67, Shadow of Kiri's Hima, Huang Pupu, Flying Higher, World Weary, Do Not Worship Heaven and Earth, Nor Worship Jiotang, 151.05, Girl, You Are My Uncle's Reward. Thank you all. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 405. Chapter 405, Don't be in a hurry, think about it slowly. So, you don't have to worry that I will go back and continue to take care of Jiao Angzhen. I have taken care of her before, but it was not my intention. There is nothing I can do about the boss's arrangement. You can think about it carefully. I sincerely want to sign you. By the way, I now work for Huanyu. Miss Jiao must have heard of this company. I have some friendship with the boss of Huanyu, so I have access to many of the company's resources. I can get it. If you follow me, you won't have to worry about not having the resources to support you. If you are still worried, we can sign a formal agreement. If I do not favor you during the period of the agreement, you can ask me for a delay fee. The amount of the fee is up to you. Jiao Mian. This condition is full of sincerity. Is also very tempting. It can be seen that Linda really wants to sign her. Jiao Mian didn't have a particularly bad impression of Linda. The person who has conflicts with her has always been Jiao Angzhen. It has nothing to do with Linda. But for a while, she couldn't accept the fact that Jiao Angzhen's former agent wanted to sign her. Moreover, she was not sure whether Linda's words were true. So, even though she was a little moved, it was impossible to reply immediately. Linda didn't expect Jiao Mian to answer her right away. She smiled and said, "There's no rush, you can think about it slowly. Call me when you've thought about it." Jiao Mian stared at her for a while, then nodded, "Well, Miss Ye, I want to ask you something." "You say. Why do you want to sign me? I'm not well known now, and I don't even have a decent masterpiece. It's risky for you to sign a pure newcomer like me." Linda picked up the cup with cartoon pictures printed on it, her eyes were half squinted, and she said calmly, "Want to hear the truth? In fact, the first time I saw you, I wanted to sign you. But, at that time if Suzy doesn't agree with you entering the entertainment industry, I won't be allowed to sign you." Although he hadn't taken over Xinggui at that time, he was still my immediate boss, and he was Su Xiaodong. I dare not listen to his words. Qiao Angzhen's conditions are far inferior to yours. But if someone is willing to praise her, wouldn't she be praised? So I don't feel that I am taking risks. On the contrary, I actually quite like taking risks. I only do challenging things. It's more exciting, isn't it? I have absolute confidence in you. Of course, there is actually another reason, that is, I want to make you famous and suppress Jiao Angzhen. I want that Suzy to know that it is definitely his loss if he fired me for his woman." Speaking of this, Linda became particularly angry. That Suzy actually fired her. Although she had long been prepared to leave Xinggui, voluntarily leaving her job and being fired were definitely two different things. She worked at Xinggui for 10 years. There is no function, but it is also hard work, not to mention that she has helped Xinggui become famous for so many artists. Unexpectedly, Suzy would treat a veteran employee like her like this. She no longer has any thoughts about Xinggui. As long as Suzy and Jiao Angzhen are together for one day, she will never return to Xinggui. Asterisk. Linda stayed for a short time, said everything that needed to be said, and then left. Zhang Luli helped Jiao Mian analyze, the quarrel between Linda and Jiao Angzhen must be true. No wonder Linda wasn't with Jiao Angzhen when she had an accident yesterday. It seems that Linda and Jiao Angzhen were because of something. After the quarrel, Jiao was so angry that she asked Suzy to fire Linda. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 406. Chapter 406. Let's have lunch together? Linda is an old employee of Xinggui and has a certain status in Xinggui. She must be very angry to be fired by Suzy like this. She is looking for you, on the one hand, to retaliate against Suzy and Jiao Angzhen, on the other hand, she is interested in your conditions and wants to sign you to Huanyu and make some achievements in the new company. After all, if she wants to consolidate her position in Huanyu, she still needs to bring some of her own people there. And a newcomer like you, who is not famous at all, can prove her ability to her new boss very well. So, she will definitely do her best to make you popular. I think the conditions she offered are pretty good. What do you think? Jiao Mian supported her chin with one hand. After thinking for a moment, she nodded, I think it's good too. Baby, I think this is an opportunity. Look, you just successfully auditioned to be the third female lead in Big Brother Bai's new drama, and Linda Xie came here to find you. Don't you think you might really be lucky? I wanted to talk to you about my agent, but Linda Xie came to see me. Huanyu should be the largest and best brokerage company in China now, and many big names are signed to Huanyu. To be honest, although Xinggui has developed well in the past 2 years, it is still not as good as Huanyu. Yeah, I know. Jiao Mian nodded, it would be really good if you can sign with Huanyu. And you? Take your time, let's talk in a few days. If she is really sincere, I believe she doesn't care about waiting a few more days. There are some things that she needs to investigate clearly before making a decision. Signing a contract is not a small matter and must be done carefully. That's right, it's better to be cautious. In short, if she has no other purpose and just wants to sign you and make you famous, I think it is a very good choice. Asterisk. At noon, Xiao Mian had made an appointment to go to a small shop outside the school to eat snail noodles with Zhang Luli. She was holding hands and preparing to go downstairs when she received a text message from Mo Yesi. Mo Yesi, Miss Xiao, are you free at noon? Have lunch together? Xiao Mian paused. Baby, what's wrong? Zhang Luli asked curiously when he saw her suddenly stop. Luo, I might not be able to have dinner with you at noon. Xiao Mian felt embarrassed. How about going to eat snail noodles at noon tomorrow? Zhang Luli was stunned for a moment, and then immediately guessed that the message must be from Mo Yesi. Since my best friend has a date with her husband, she must be sensible. Okay, you can do it anytime. Has the male idol invited you to have dinner together? Go quickly. Xiao Mian pursed her lower lip, otherwise, you can come with me. No, Zhang Luli immediately shook his head and refused. I don't want to be a kilowatt light bulb. Okay, leave me alone and go to your sweet world of two. He hasn't come yet. Then you wait at home, I'll leave first. Xiao Mian stood at the door and watched Zhang Luli leave. After closing the door, she replied to Mo Yesi's message, a busy man like Mr. Mo, do you have time to have lunch with me? You don't have a meal for lunch? Mo Yesi replied instantly, yes. Before Xiao Mian could reply to him, he immediately sent another message, I have an appointment with Mr. Wang of Hongtong Company at noon. If you promise me, I will reject him immediately. Looking at this message, the corners of Xiao Mian's lips raised. This message was obviously flattering, but also showed her important position in his heart. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 407. Chapter 407. I really feel like I'm being pursued by him. She can see through the man's little thoughts. But I couldn't help but feel better, and my heart felt sweet. Maybe it was because she didn't reply to the message for a while, so Mo Yesi couldn't help but send another message, Miss Xiao, should I come to pick you up? Xiao Mian looked at the change in his name for her, pursed her lips, and had a sweet smile in her eyes. This pursuit is quite similar. She suddenly felt that she quite enjoyed her current relationship with Mo Yesi. I really feel like I am being pursued by him. Being pursued by such an outstanding man will greatly satisfy a woman's vanity. Xiao Mian guessed that he might be a little anxious, and then replied, well, you can pick me up. Mo Yesi replied instantly, okay, I will be downstairs in your dormitory in 20 minutes at most. Think about what to eat for a while. Asterisk. While waiting for Mo Yesi, Xiao Mian logged into Weibo, entered it at one click, and saw the news about Xiao Angzhen. Is a clarifying statement about the news about the beating. The statement was issued by Xiao Angzhen's personal studio. It said that the reason why Xiao Angzhen fought with the female artist was because the other party insulted her first, because the scolding was extremely unpleasant, and the female artist repeatedly provoked her. You will only take action if you can't bear it anymore. And afterwards, she suffered more injuries than the female artist. She was actually the one who was beaten. The statement described Xiao Angzhen as innocent and helpless. In short, everything she did was excusable and she was forced to do nothing. The one who was at fault was the female artist who scolded her first. The studio also claimed that it would send a lawyer's letter to the female artist, suing her for defamation and frame-up. Xinggui probably hired a navy to help clear Xiao Angzhen's name. After the statement was sent out, Xiao Mian clicked into the comment area to see that everyone in it was in support of Xiao Angzhen. Occasionally, there were a few who opposed it, and they were quickly dismissed. The Navy's comments were suppressed. Some other official entertainment Weibo accounts quickly forwarded the statement issued by Xiao Angzhen's studio. Xiao Mian clicked into the comment areas of these official Weibo, and sure enough, she saw Xiao Angzhen's Navy again. For example, comments like this: "As long as you know your mistakes and can correct them, who dares to say that you have never done anything wrong since you were a child?" What's more, it was the other party who insulted Xiao Angzhen first. If someone insults you in front of you, how can you not be angry? There is also this: it turns out that the other party cursed first, and then Xiao Angzhen took action. To be honest, if someone scolded me in person, and the scolding was particularly unpleasant, I would definitely not be able to help but take action. We all are not saints, so don't hold artists to the standards of saints. Think about what you would do if you encountered such a thing. Can you still face it with a smile without changing your expression? Once someone said that Jiaoan, as an artist, hitting people in public would have a bad impact and might teach some younger fans a bad lesson. Trolls would immediately spray similar comments to the point where those who posted the comments would no longer dare to say anything. The comment area was almost completely flooded by trolls who wanted to clean up their posts. Soon, another so-called eyewitness came forward to testify, saying that it was indeed the female artist who scolded Xiao Angzhen first. Xiao Angzhen endured it for a long time while the other person continued to scold her, and then she couldn't help but move her hands. The witness said that if she were Xiao Angzhen, she would not be able to help but do it because the female artist has such a dirty mouth. Xiao Angzhen is the character of the campus first love goddess. She looks innocent in appearance and has a very soft and cute personality. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 408. Chapter 408, Being Deceived and Not Knowing It. In the eyes of netizens, she is just a sweet girl. Furthermore, she has a good temper externally and has always been very gentle. Many netizens say that she is a very down-to-earth and approachable female star. Xiao Angzhen has more than 10 million fans on Weibo. When the news of her beating someone came out last night, many fans expressed disbelief, saying that it was impossible for their goddess to hit someone for no reason with such a gentle personality. There must be some special reason. They have to wait for the reversal. Today, as soon as the studio's statement came out, fans were like chicken blood, and they went around to criticize people who said Xiao Angzhen was not good. As a result, many netizens are afraid to express their opinions related to Xiao Angzhen. She is afraid of being sprayed to death by her fans. These large number of die-hard fans, coupled with a large number of whitewashing trolls, are all over the comment areas of various Weibo posts, controlling comments everywhere. Even some big VS came forward to help Xiao Angzhen. The direction of the beating incident turned around in an instant. Xiao Mian silently browsed Weibo for a while, and then silently brought up the Weibo interface. She had already guessed that Xinggui would definitely be cleared by Xiao Angzhen. Xiao Angzhen is an artist that Xinggui is actively promoting, and with such a relationship with Suzy, how could Suzy just sit back and do nothing? Just from the huge number of Navy troops, it can be seen that Xinggui must have spent a lot of money to clear his name this time. Furthermore, he was also very successful in clearing his name. This matter has basically been resolved. In a few days, as other hot news comes out, the Xiao Angzhen beating incident will slowly be forgotten. In the internet era, information changes rapidly. No matter how big or hot the news is, it cannot stay popular for long. What's more, Xinggui is still trying to clear her name. Asterisk. Su family. Su's mother threw the phone on the table with a bang and asked angrily, "Tell me, what's going on? Why did Xiao Angzhen get into a fight with someone?" Look at how she looks outside, she's just a little bit, I don't care about the image either. For a woman like this, do you still want me to nod her to enter the Su family's door? Mom Suzy reached out and rubbed his forehead, looking like he had a headache. Things are not what you see. And Angzan usually has a good personality. She has never fought with anyone. This is also the first time she has done anything with someone. I understand that she can't help it until the other party scolds her first. Sue's mother sneered, have you never fought with anyone before? I don't think it's her first time to act like this. 8. You can't just look at people by their appearance. Nowadays, as long as people want to act, what can't they do? Are you sure you can is the real her that I know? Suzy raised his head and looked directly at Mother Sue, frowning slightly. Mom and Xin and I have known each other for several years. I know very well what kind of person she is. Your son is not stupid enough to be deceived by others. Come out. Mother Sue sneered again, I think you are just stupid and careless. You just didn't realize that you were deceived. How could I, a smart person like you, give birth to a stupid son like you? Mom. You said she didn't lie to you, then let me ask you, did she say she was pregnant before and the baby was less than 3 months old? Suzy was stunned and his expression changed slightly. About this matter, he was a little doubtful yesterday. However, he later took Jiao Angzan to the hospital for a checkup. The test sheet showed that Jiao Angzan was indeed pregnant. After seeing the checklist, he had no doubts at all. Thank you Tang Alien, 15879, for pretending to be calm with a fake smile. Li Li, picking stars for Cai, Meng Shang and Li Qing, ahau, a world-weary reward. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 409. Chapter 409, Do you have no feelings for me and Mian at all? After Suzy was silent for a moment, he slowly walked to the sofa and sat down next to Sue's mother. He said in a deep voice, I personally took her for a checkup yesterday. She is indeed pregnant. Mom, please rest assured. She is pregnant with your grandson. Even if you don't like her, for the sake of her being pregnant with your grandson, just agree to let her in. Wouldn't it be pitiful if the baby didn't even have a complete family after birth? Sue's mother was a little surprised. Did you take her to the hospital for a checkup yesterday? Yes, Suzy thought for a moment and told the truth. Actually, I was a little suspicious yesterday. That's why I took her to the hospital. But she really didn't lie to me. She was pregnant with my child. Mom, I can't help but give her a title. And Angzan is willing to carry a child for me when her career is on the rise, which shows that she is sincere to me. Looking at the current entertainment industry, how many female stars can do this? She has given so much to me, and I can't live up to it. Her affection. I beg you, just let me marry her. If you don't like her, I will bring her home less often. Mother Su looked at her son next to her quietly, with an unreadable expression on her face. After a moment, she let out a long sigh. Ace, Mom wants to ask you a question, and you must answer me honestly. Suzy nodded. Mom, tell me. Do you really have no feelings for me and Mian at all? Suzy was stunned. Did you break up with her really because you didn't like her anymore? Or was it because Jiaoan was pregnant with your child and you had to be responsible for her, so you had no choice but to break up with me and Mian? Suzy's expression changed and he remained silent. He also thought about this problem in the dead of night. I have thought about it more than once. Especially after knowing that Jiao Mian was with the man named Mo Yesi, he began to feel inexplicably panicked. Even though Jiao Mian broke up with him at the time, Although it was a bit difficult for him to accept it and he was panicked, he was not as scared and flustered as he is now. Because he has always felt that even if they break up, Xiao Mian still loves him. They have known each other for 10 years, and she must have deep feelings for him. It is impossible to fall in love with another man for a while. What's more, he had absolute confidence at that time, thinking that Xiao Mian would never meet a better man than him. She has had a fiancé like him before, and she will definitely be very picky when choosing a mate in the future. There are not many men who can catch her eye. Suzy even thought that Xiao Mian would regret it soon. Then he will come to him for reconciliation. He has thought about it. If she really comes to him, he will naturally not be able to get back together with her, but as long as she does not ask for the title of young lady of the Su family, he can give her everything else. He will still pamper her, love her, and treat her as always. Only except, cannot give her a title. He thought about many things. He is still waiting for her to get back together with him. Who knew, a man named Moyesi suddenly appeared next to her. Even if the man is just a relative of the Mo family, since he can hold a high-level position in the Mo family, his income must be quite high, and his family background will not be much worse. More importantly, the man's appearance is extremely outstanding. Even as a man, Suzy had to admit that Moyesi's appearance was excellent among his peers. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 410. Chapter 410. Find out about this matter. That face is very popular with women, and it also has the ability to make women fall in love with him. Now, he is no longer sure whether Xiao Mian still likes him. He is no longer as confident as he was at first. If Xiao Mian really fell in love with the man named Moyesi, what should he do? Because he found that he still liked her. His concern for Xiao Angzhen was just a temporary novelty. In addition, Xiao Angzhen was pregnant with his child, so he had to take responsibility. Other than these, he found that he didn't like Xiao Angzhen much. He was silent for a little long. As soon as Sumu saw him like this, she already had the answer in her heart. How can she not understand her own child? Actually you didn't want to break up with Mian at that time, right? Mother Su sighed, her tone full of regret and a bit sad. Do you regret it now? But now you regret it again, what's the use? I know Mian, you betrayed her because her stepsister broke up with her, and she can't forgive you anymore. Mom Suzy scratched his hair impetuously, since you know that she and I are no longer possible, why are you still asking these questions? Does it make sense? Why doesn't he understand Xiao Mian's character? Mother Su looked at him like this, and when she thought that her daughter-in-law, whom she liked so much, had been ruined by this useless son, she felt so angry that she said, if you hadn't been able to control your lower body, how could you be with that unknown person? If shameless women get together, my good daughter-in-law will be gone. Mom, can you please stop being so unpleasant when you speak? Suzy was also a very famous figure outside. He was respected by others and used to being praised. Now that Su's mother reprimanded him so mercilessly, his face was ruined. I feel a bit overwhelmed. Mother Su still didn't give him any face. You think what I said was ugly? Then when you did it, you didn't feel that what you did was ugly. The rabbit didn't eat the grass beside the nest. What did you think at that time? Have you ever thought about Mian when doing these things? Su's mother was angry, but she couldn't tolerate his temper. Even though she knew that her son and Xiao Mian were no longer together, she felt angry every time she thought about it. He felt even more disgusted with Xiao Angzhen. If that shameless woman hadn't seduced his son, her family, and Mian, would be fine now. Perhaps you can get married this year. When they get married, if everything goes well, she will be able to have a grandchild in another year. Suzy had a headache and said, what's the use of talking about this now? No matter how much you blame an Xin, the child in her belly is innocent. In short, whether you agree with me marrying her or not, I am responsible for her and the child. Sue's mother sneered and raised the corners of her lips, and suddenly changed her words, "If you want to take responsibility, I won't stop you." "Mom, you..." Susie looked at her in surprise, "Do you agree to my marriage to an Xin?" Mother Sue smiled coldly, "You are not a child anymore, can I control you? You can marry if you want. I can't stop her, and I don't want to. However, if you marry her just to be responsible for the child in her belly, we should at least look into this matter. Don't be plotted by others and think that they have sacrificed a lot for you." Susie immediately heard that there was something in Sue's mother's words, which seemed to be alluding to something. He was stunned for a few seconds, with a deep thought in his eyes. "Mom, do you think Anan has lied to me? But, I took her to the hospital yesterday." End of this chapter.